You know, whenever Quentin Tarantino speaks about his career, the world listens. He's one of those rare filmmakers who has shaped the culture of modern cinema, and for years we've all been waiting for his much-hyped final film. That film was supposed to be the Movie Critic. But now, Tarantino himself has revealed why he pulled the plug, and his reason is honestly kind of wild. So here's the story. Tarantino had always said he wanted to end his directing career after his 10th movie. And when the Movie Critic was announced, fans thought this was finally it, the last Tarantino film. Early reports said it was set in 1977 California and centered on a real-life film critic who wrote reviews for a so-called porno rag. Brad Pitt, who won an Oscar for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, was even rumored to star. Naturally, expectations were sky-high. But in a recent interview on the Church of Tarantino podcast, the director admitted that he scrapped the entire project. Not because of pressure, not because of fear of ending on a bad note, but because, and I'm quoting him here, it just felt too much like the last one. See, Tarantino had originally written The Movie Critic as an 8-episode TV series. He then reshaped it into a feature film, and while the idea fascinated him, he started to notice that the process felt too familiar. He already knew how to turn Los Angeles into a retro world. He had just done that for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And once he realized this film would end up repeating too much of that same creative process, the excitement wasn't there anymore. Now, he did give himself a challenge with the project. He asked himself, can I take the most boring profession in the world and make it interesting? In this case, the profession was film criticism. Tarantino wanted to prove that he could turn even the act of watching and reviewing movies into a compelling story. And he believed he had achieved that goal. But still, it wasn't enough. He wanted his final film to feel new, fresh, and unlike anything he'd done before. Instead of forcing himself to finish, he made the bold choice to pull the plug. And he admitted, it's kind of a crazy reason. But if you know Tarantino, you know that repeating himself was never his style. From Reservoir Dogs to Kill Bill to Inglourious Bastard, each of his films has carved out its own unique space in cinema history. So what's next for Tarantino if the Movie Critic isn't happening? Well, he's not done creating. He revealed he's working on a stage play, and more intriguingly, a new project called The Adventures of Cliff Booth. If that name sounds familiar, it's because Cliff Booth was Brad Pitt's stuntman character in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. This new project is being written and co-produced by Tarantino, but directed by David Fincher, and Pitt is set to return in the role. Tarantino compared it to handing Fincher a massive novel written in screenplay form and letting him bring it to life. So, while Tarantino may not be riding into the sunset with the Movie Critic, he's still shaping the movie world in fascinating new ways. And who knows, maybe his real 10th and final film is still waiting around the corner.